What's good, y'all? It's Nutsack, and today we're back with a banger today. I've actually been wanting to work on this video for quite a while. This is probably the longest video I've ever made. This took me so fucking long to make. So today we're gonna be looking at how to beat every UFC champion, and I went back and I watched so many fights to prepare for making this video. And this is just gonna be like a heavy breakdown video of each style. And how I think each UFC champion has the ability to be beaten by a contender. And I'm also going to be looking at some of their nightmare matchups as well. Now, some of these people I put nightmare matchups, even though I don't think just because I put someone as a nightmare matchups doesn't mean I'd exactly pick them to win. It's just who I think would give them the toughest fight and maybe would beat them, but who knows. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there. And yeah, alright, let's hop into the video. First champion, we got Alexandre Pantoja. The breakdown. Before attempting takedowns, Pantoja tends to flail his arms, throwing punches and tries to secure a body lock in the process. We've seen this in many of his fights. Now, when you're countering, he's able to eat those shots very well because he has an amazing chin. And he tries to secure a body lock, and then when he secures the body lock, he'll take you down. And when he takes you down, he pretty much secured the round, or it's hard to get back up because he has very good ground control as well. Yeah, but he's also has an iron chin. Is able to take a lot of punishment and big shots. So that's like his main game plan. He's like a crazy striker. He runs in there and just like starts flailing his arms around like a bird. He's like one of those floating like balloon animals that you see at the car wash, animals, like the floating balloon men that you see at like a car dealership or like the car wash. That's how he runs at people, and then he like in all the chaos, he just tries to secure your body lock. You guys know how much I hate Pantoja, but he's also very good at this. And in his championship reign, normally back when he was before he became a champion, normally he would chase submissions on the ground, but he doesn't really do that anymore. He tries to play it more safe. So, how to beat Pantoja? When Pantoja blitzes in, your best bet is to counter strike and avoid the body lock. Also, avoid getting put up against the fence because that just makes it easier for him to take you down. That's how most grapplers are. Pantoja relies on his chin a lot, so having great power would help. And do your best to avoid getting taken down because odds are you're not going to be able to get back up. Proven in the Royval fight, Pantoja will be able to secure rounds just by taking him down, not letting him get back up. Royval was unable to get back up after he was taken down multiple times. And I think that Pantoja's nightmare matchup would be Kai Kara-France. The reason I think Kai Kara-France would be his nightmare matchup, not just because he beat Steve Ercik, but it's also because Kai Kara-France has some of the best takedown defense in flyweight history, and he also has really, really heavy hands for a flyweight. So he definitely could punish Pantoja and keep the takedowns at bay. Would I pick Kai Kara-France to beat him? Yes, I would actually. I'd have to do a little bit more breakdown, but just based on what I've seen, I think I would pick Kai Kara-France to beat Pantoja if they were to fight. It's like the perfect matchup for him. But yeah, moving on to the next champion, we got the bantamweight champion, none other than Sean O'Malley. You guys know I love O'Malley. Let's start into the breakdown. Sean has elite striking. He's obviously one of the best strikers in the UFC. You are not going to outstrike him. I'm just gonna put that out there right there. You are not going to. Sean's distance management is amazing, so it's hard getting in within close reach. He keeps distance really well, and that's like his strong point because he's so long and lengthy, so he keeps you at bay with kicks, straights. That's how he's able to find success. However, he does sometimes struggle with boxing in the pocket. If you can get in close, it is hard to get in close because Aljo tried getting in close. We saw what happened to him. Peter Yan was able to get in close sometimes, but Peter Yan's amazing, and he also has the threat of the takedown. Cheeto tried getting in close, and he got hit with one of the nastiest knees that I've ever seen. But sometimes, like I said, he struggles with boxing in the pocket. He does better at range, but like when you're right there with him, he's not that bad, but you could definitely outstrike him in some of those scenarios possibly. For example, like in the 5th round when Cheeto was finally having success, the first punch he landed like a big liver shot to O'Malley like when they were boxing in the pocket, and that hurt him. and that was like right at the end of the fight. And that was like the biggest shot Cheeto landed. That was like the only punch Cheeto landed that entire fight, it felt like. But yeah, but Cheeto's not that good of a striker. If a better striker manages to go in there, but I feel like your best bet to beat O'Malley would not be on the striking. I feel like the best bet to beat O'Malley would be heavy pressure wrestling. And my point taken is from the Peter Yan fight. Peter Yan took down Sean O'Malley multiple times and beat him up on the ground. And Peter Yan isn't really the best wrestler in the division. He's an amazing wrestler, don't get me wrong. But he got out wrestled by Merab, which is why I think Merab is a nightmare matchup for O'Malley. Merab has unstoppable cardio and unstoppable takedown. He can attempt like 100 takedowns in a row. He's not going to gas out. He never gasses out. He's like a third long. I don't understand what it is. And also Umar. I think Umar would actually do decent in the striking against O'Malley. Would he outstrike O'Malley? No, I don't think he would. But he also has the threat of the takedown. And I also think that Umar is the best pure wrestler in that division. Obviously, I think Merab would be able to get Sean O'Malley down more times just because of the amount of attempts. But I think Umar is a better technical wrestler. So I think both these guys are pretty nightmare matchups for O'Malley. But heavy pressure wrestling is definitely your best bet. I know Aljo struggled, but I think these guys might have a better chance. And Sean O'Malley isn't that strong either. But he also has pretty underrated defensive jiu-jitsu. He struggled a lot against Yan on the mat, getting taken down and beaten up multiple times. But when it is on the feet, you cannot make a mistake because he will make you pay. Sean O'Malley has great power. I know he wasn't able to knock out Cheeto, but nobody is, so it doesn't matter. But this is the key to beating O'Malley. Nightmare matchups: Umar and Merab. Moving on to the next fighter, champion. We got Ilia Topuria, featherweight champion, 145, just knocked out Volkanovski. The breakdown: Topuria is an amazing pocket technical boxer with one punch knockout power. His strong suit is when he like his go-to is like when he gets you against the fence, but also showed against Josh Emmett that he can be a mean counter striker, dropping him multiple times with the counter striking. But Josh Emmett isn't that great of a striker. But most of his knockouts come from pushing people up like with pressuring people up against the fence, unloading a combo, and then unloading a big shot on them. And he did that for a lot of his fights. He did that for the Damon Jackson fight. I think his name was Damon Jackson. I can't forget. The guy with like the hairline, like the back of his head. Did it with Volk, Jai Herbert as well. He sometimes struggles with range since he's not long. He's kind of like a stocky, short boxer, but he's very good at closing distance. And Topuria also comes from a grappling background and is a very good wrestler. So grappling him will not be easy. The way to beat Ilia, though, however, I don't think he's unbeatable. And I'd actually pick Max to beat him. Here's why. The way to beat Ilia is to manage the distance and do not let him get close. Light him up with kicks and straights, and Max is really good at when it comes to distance management. And Max also does have good power. Like I'd say his power is decent. Another thing I noticed about Ilia when I was watching a lot of his fights, he rarely ever takes his head off the center line. So unless he improves, I don't see that Max is gonna be able to. I don't see that why Max wouldn't be able to just light him up. Max is way longer than him, and Max is like the jab and straight king, so he could light up Ilia like that. And when Ilia puts his hands down, he does not move his head at all, so that's the perfect time to counter. As you can see right here, when Jai Herbert hit him with the head kick, that dropped him. So I think kicks, and Holloway has great kicks. We don't really see him throw head kicks that much. He did drop Volk with a head kick actually, so maybe we'll see a head kick from Max Holloway in this fight, and I hope we do. And I think that'd be a big moment in the fight if he could be able to do that. But like I said, Ilia never moves his head off the center line. Take advantage, throw big when he puts his hands down. And when being hit with combos, Ilia tends to high guard, and combos with uppercuts, and do not back up against the fence. I cannot stress this enough. If you back up against the fence, you will get knocked out. Max might not get knocked out, but I think you would. I think if Ilia backs you up against the fence and hits you with one of those combos, you're getting knocked down no matter what, no matter who you are. I know Max has a granite chin or whatever, but yeah. Moving on to the next fight, we got Islam Makhachev. Now, the funny thing is, I actually don't think anyone beats Islam Makhachev. I think he's probably one of the most unbeatable champions, besides like two others, and I'll name them. They don't come until later in the video, but he's probably the most unbeatable champion that I've covered in this video so far. Moving on to the breakdown. Islam is one of the most complete fighters the UFC has ever seen. Elite striking and grappling. Amazing fighter. Islam's chin is okay, but it's actually not great. I think it's a little overrated. he did get knocked out by a random back in the day. Like that one guy that looks like Pantoja, Adriano Martins, him. And he was dropped by Volk, and he was getting hurt by Poirier a little bit. But it was good that Poirier wasn't able to, for Islam, it was good for Islam that Poirier wasn't able to find his rhythm that much because of the threat of the takedown. But it's like almost impossible to hit Islam clean just because how extremely defensively sound he is. He's one of the best like defensive strikers in the UFC. So hitting him clean is almost impossible. But if he gets you to the ground, you already lost the round. You're not getting up. He has great jiu-jitsu, great wrestling. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about Islam. How to beat him? I don't think it's possible to beat him, to be honest. And I know you guys are gonna like Michael Chandler is the nightmare matchup. Let me explain my reasoning. But how to beat Islam? Try and keep the fight in the middle. DP was actually defending a lot of Islam's takedowns when he was in the middle. Not up against the cage. Do not back up against the cage. That's just asking to be taken down. Islam tends to move back when being hit with longer combos, take advantage, and end longer combos with big shots against the fence. Having powerful punches would help too. Is Michael Chandler the nightmare matchup for like Islam in the entire UFC? No, I actually think that I'm only counting for the division, the nightmare matchups for the division. I actually think that Islam's nightmare matchup is Ilia Topuria, but Ilia Topuria is the featherweight. But so in lightweight, the nightmare matchup is gonna be Michael Chandler because who else is gonna be like Justin Gaethje? Justin Gaethje would get subbed in one. Dustin Poirier was also doing really good, but Michael Chandler has the wrestling. I think Michael Chandler, like, he's so fucking like talented. He's just like this big ball of muscle. He has great wrestling, underrated wrestling. He just never uses it. Here's a pic of him picking up Dustin Poirier. Super strong, super powerful, and I think that like he could maybe clip I think what happens is that Islam would actually knock Michael Chandler out. Like if they were to fight, Islam would probably knock him out. Like I can see Michael Chandler like overextending. Islam hits him with like a hook, clips him, then just like beats him up on the ground, and it's like a TKO. And I think that's definitely what would happen. But like I think Michael Chandler would probably give Islam like the toughest fight, just because he'd bring a dog fight. But Islam did prove that he could be in a dog fight. That Dustin Poirier fight was a dog fight, and he edged it out with the finish in the 5th round. But having powerful punches would help too. But like I said, I don't think anyone beats Islam Makhachev in lightweight at the moment. Moving on to the next one, we got Belal Muhammad. Kind of a boring breakdown, but Belal is a heavy pressure wrestler with good point striking. Not really a power puncher, but he does have like good technical boxing, and he has pretty underrated kicks as well. He's not much of a finishing threat, but he does have great cardio to beat you up for 5 rounds. Proved in multiple fights like the Leon fight, Gilbert Burns, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, etc. Belal is also very physically strong. His strengths look to improve like a lot in the Leon Edwards fight. He was able to just pick up Leon, dunk him on his head. Like he looked really like physically strong is what I'm trying to say. And his physique has gotten way better ever since he started training with Khabib. And I also think that he's just like really improved as a fighter as well. But Belal looked really good in that fight. How to beat him? Belal struggles with pressure at times. Pressure him, but not too predictably, because if you pressure him too predictably, he could time a takedown. Try and keep the fight in the middle. If Belal takes you down in the middle, you can scramble easier. Credits to some of this breakdown by the Octagon Oracle on Instagram. I don't want to just take credit. Like I did watch his videos. He released 2 videos recently, how to beat Islam Makhachev and how to beat Belal Muhammad. And I did take some of those points because he did make really good points in those videos. So shout out to him. It's the Octagon Oracle on Instagram. But he also said try and keep the fight in the middle. If Belal takes you down in the middle, you can scramble easier than if it's against the fence, because if it's against the fence, he can chain wrestle and just keep taking you down over and over and eventually establish control. Another thing I noticed is that sometimes Belal tends to struggle keeping position. So if he does take you down and you can reverse his position, then that could be dangerous. And that's why I think Shavkat is his nightmare matchup. I think Shavkat could reverse Belal and beat him up on the ground or submit him. Leon, in their fight, was able to get 2 rounds after Belal took him down because he was able to reverse the position and get good positions. 2 of the rounds that Leon won was the 3rd and the 5th, I believe. I think he won the 5th. Some people think Belal won the 5th, but In the third round, Belal takes down Leon. Leon reverses it. Or no, he doesn't reverse it, but he gets Belal's back. And Leon's not known as much of a BJJ guy. So getting your back taken by Leon. I know Usman got his back taken by Leon as well. But if Shavkat gets your back, then that's pretty much game over. You know what I mean? Like, so that would be dangerous if Belal takes down Shavkat and Shavkat was able to get his back. And also, when Leon reversed Belal in the 5th round and then proceeded to just beat the shit out of him with elbows and cutting him open, I think Shavkat could do that as well, better than Leon could. And also, I think Belal just fought the perfect fight against Leon. He knows that Leon struggles when people pressure him, but Shavkat's not going to struggle with pressure as Belal. And Shavkat was eating shots from Jeff Neal, so I don't think he's going to have a problem eating shots from Belal. But his defense isn't really that good. His striking defense is pretty ass, actually. And he does eat a lot of shots. So maybe Belal could win on point striking alone, but I actually don't think he outstrikes Shavkat. I think Shavkat outstrikes Belal. And I think that Shavkat would do good at defending takedowns. Obviously, Shavkat doesn't have the best wrestling, but I think he's better like on the ground than Belal when it comes to pure jiu-jitsu. But moving on to the next champion, we got Dricus du Plessis. Dricus is another one of those champions that I think no one beats, to be honest. But the breakdown. Dricus is extremely complete with great striking and grappling, and Dricus is always on the front foot, putting pressure constantly. We saw this in the Sean Strickland fight. Sean Strickland is one of those guys who is always on the front foot. We saw that against Izzy. In multiple fights, we saw that. And Dricus had Sean Strickland on the back foot, which is super impressive because it just shows like how much pressure that Dricus puts on people. And he also has really good cardio. Shown in the Sean Strickland fight, was able to throw. He missed a lot of shots, but was able to not gas out. So super impressive. And another thing about Dricus that I didn't put in the slideshow for some reason is that Dricus has elite game planning. He knows exactly how to beat all of his opponents. He knew that Izzy would struggle with mixing in the takedowns. He knew that Sean Strickland won round 1, and he adjusted because he knows that Sean Strickland struggles when in the later rounds he mixes it to the body. That's how Jared Cannonier was able to beat Sean Strickland, and that's how Dricus was able to beat Sean Strickland. I know people think that Sean Strickland beat Dricus. I don't think so at all. I think it's just like 50-year-old football dads who've seen the fight. Sean Strickland's like, yeah, America, and you know, dude, what the fuck? Like, Sean Strickland should have won that shit, dude. Like, America. But in like a judge's perspective, like hardcore MMA fans, I'm guessing we can all agree that we think that Dricus won that fight. It's just that the casual fans who saw Sean Strickland light him up with a jab and dude, his face at the end of the round was looking like a grave, man. But based on the judges' scoring criteria, Dricus did definitely deserve to win that fight. How to beat him? When Dricus runs in with his big blitz, throwing hooks. We saw that in the Izzy fight and the Sean Strickland fight. Counter hard. You have to counter hard. That's like the only chance to beat him. This is why I think Alex Pereira would beat him. Be ready to defend the takedowns. They mostly come when Dricus is struggling on the feet. Shown in the Izzy and the Sean Strickland fight, second round, Sean Strickland was they were really competitive in the striking. Dricus shoots a takedown, most likely secures the round, and he actually did secure the round. And what else? Oh, in the Izzy fight, Izzy was lighting him up in that 4th round. Then he starts attempting takedowns. Izzy dropped him in the 2nd round early. He started attempting takedowns, chain wrestling. You know what I mean? So it seems like Dricus shoots takedowns majorly when he's struggling on the feet. Shown in the Whitaker fight as well. Another way to beat Dricus is to come up with a strong game plan and do not fight predictably, because Dricus is really, really good at game planning. So your only best bet is to beat him is to out game plan him. I put his nightmare matchup as Sean Strickland just because Sean Strickland gave him that really tough fight. I would not pick Sean Strickland to beat him in a rematch. In fact, I'd pick that fight to be way more clear for Dricus if they ever did rematch. I actually think that Dricus' nightmare matchup would be Alex Pereira, but since Alex Pereira is in a different division, I put Sean Strickland for this one just because he gave him a tough fight. But realistically, I'd pick no one in the division to beat Dricus. But if you were, this is how you do it. Moving on to the next champ, we got Alex Pereira. Alex is one of those champions where I think no one beats him as well. I know there's like a bunch of them that I have, but the breakdown. Pereira is one of the best strikers the UFC has ever seen. Alex has one punch KO power, can cripple you with low kicks. Grappling is his weakness, but he is improving. We all know this already. There's nothing new about it. Blah blah blah. How to beat him. Your only chances to beat Pereira is if you wrestle or knock him out, but striking with him is extremely risky. I cannot stress this enough. Wrestle, wrestle, wrestle. That's your only bet to beat Pereira. You're not gonna outstrike him, no matter what, no matter who you are, no matter how many accolades you have. You're not going to outstrike Alex Pereira. Your best chance to win is to instantly shoot a takedown and submit him in round 1, or just lay on him for 5 rounds. That's your only chance to ever beat him. His nightmare matchup is Tom Aspinall. But Tom Aspinall's a heavyweight, so his nightmare matchup in light heavyweight is Makhachev Ankalaev, and I hated putting Makhachev Ankalaev as his nightmare matchup, but there was honestly nobody else who was like, Ankalaev is probably the best wrestler in the lightweight heavyweight division. Shows how weak that division is when it comes to grappling. But yeah, Ankalaev would probably give him the toughest fight. I honestly think that Pereira would knock out Ankalaev in round 1 though, so I don't think it would be that tough of a fight. But if there's anyone who could beat him in light heavyweight, I guess it would be Ankalaev. But yeah, this is how you beat Pereira. I'm pretty sure we all know this though already. But do not strike with him. If you strike with him, you are going to lose. Heavyweight, Tom Aspinall. Dude, where the fuck's John Jones? John Jones the real champ, dude. John Jones, what the fuck? No, Tom Aspinall. We're counting Tom Aspinall. John Jones is retiring after fighting Stipe. That's boring as fuck. And we already know everything about John Jones, bro. We already know how to beat him. I'll just make a mini breakdown for John Jones to beat him. Be the same size as him. If you're smaller than him, he's going to beat you. If you're the same size as John Jones, the fight's automatically competitive. Do not give him any respect. Defend the takedowns and just walk him down and just beat him up. That's exactly what Dominic Reyes did. And he beat him. The mistake that Dominic Reyes did was gas out. So beat him up. Do not gas out. And you could probably beat John Jones, to be honest. But yeah. But I don't really give a fuck about John Jones. I'm not counting John Jones as heavyweight. He's not fighting anyone besides a 41-year-old who got knocked out recently, like 3 years ago. So Tom Aspinall will be my heavyweight champion because I feel like he's more fun to break down. Even though this breakdown is actually not going to be that fun. The breakdown, Aspinall is probably one of the most talented heavyweights. Is probably the most talented heavyweight the UFC's ever seen. Tom is the fastest in the division. Also has a one-punch KO power and an iron chin. He has an iron chin, got clipped by Blades and Sergey, but wasn't like wobbled or anything. He was totally fine. And here's a picture of him knocking out Sergey right after, and a picture of him submitting Volkov, showing that Tom is also an amazing grappler, being 100% on takedown attempts and submission attempts, which is very good. How to beat him? Tom often leaves his chin in the air, so when throwing, try and counter. Unfortunately, if Tom throws, you're probably gonna get knocked out, so it doesn't even matter. When he blitzes in, shoot a takedown, as he's unproven on his back, and trying your best to survive the early rounds. Tom's gas tank is unproven as well. So like the whole plan is to beat him is just like take him into realms like where we haven't even seen. Like he could be great off his back. He could have great cardio. We have no idea. So this isn't even like a solid game plan. This is more just like a try and do this and hope it goes well, like pray. But like to be honest, I don't think there's anyone in I put the nightmare matchup. I don't think there's anyone. I don't think there's anyone in the heavyweight division who even gives him like a competitive fight. I think he knocks everyone out round 1. Who the fuck is gonna be Cyril Gane? Cyril Gane's fucking dog shit on the ground. Tom Aspinall would submit him in 1. He's faster than Cyril Gane. He could knock out Cyril Gane as well. Who else is gonna be? Volkov? Already beat Volkov. Already beat Blades. Already beat Pavlovich. Only like person who probably give him a competitive fight is John Jones, but I'm not counting John Jones, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, I don't think this is why Tom Aspinall is my favorite fighter. He's just there's such a skill gap between him and everyone else. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for the video. This was a long ass video to make, so please show it some love and please like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, that is how to beat every UFC champion. Like I said, this is not a guarantee, and the nightmare matchups are not guarantees to win. But yeah, it is what it is. So please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.